Hi everyone, my name is Claudia, and if I have never met you before, then welcome. It is a pleasure to be here with you through the screen. Now you have found yourself on a 45-minute Mandala Vinyasa yoga practice where we will be targeting the hips in all directions. So let's go ahead and get started with the legs crossed. And if you want to have the hips slightly elevated, then you can always sit on a cushion or sit the hips in a block. Find some buoyancy through your spine. And then place your less dominant hand on your lap and place your more dominant hand on top of that hand. And just let the thumbs touch. Close your eyes and hold space for yourself right now. Begin by scanning the front layer of your skin, so the part of yourself that meets the atmosphere around you. And then plunge into your body and feel into that layer of self that connects you with the earth below you. And then give yourself a moment to scan and feel both of these layers simultaneously. And as you give into this felt awareness of these polarized layers of self, start to become aware of that layer in between. This third layer of both space and of all your inner organs, this entire inner world that is infinitely vast and wildly unknown. And as you scan your body from head to toe, becoming increasingly aware of these three layers, allow your presence to plunge from upper layer to lower layer, exploring the space between as you go. Notice that your breath is this beautiful guide that allows you to feel the expansion and the contraction that so naturally happens within this inner world. And so whilst each of us are unique and we all have this infinitely vast inner verse, there is really something mystical that connects us all. So as we all go into this practice, we will create individually this web within ourselves that provides safety and perimeters and boundaries. And as this web, as this felt awareness craves a place to settle, gently guide that presence into the cavern of your heart. The heart being the place that connects us to the infinite, the internal, to the inner genius within yourself that connects you to the source of all. You know, as you rest into your heart, begin to retrieve your sankalpa, or set an intention for this practice. And if that word feels foreign to you, or if you struggle to find the perfect fit, then repeat the statement, I am here to transform. I am here to transform. I am transforming. Now begin to take a transformational breath that consciously transitions you from wherever you were, wherever you have just been, into this sacred space of practice. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Now purse your lips and let the breath pour out. That breath is so steeped in magic and vitality and goodness. So really hone in on it. Let it be your anchor. Let it be the boss. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's do one more cycle to really set us up. Inhale fully. Exhale completely. Now seal off your lips. So by consequence, the breath happens in and out from the nostrils. Tap into that Ujjayi breath, that oceanic sound. And now with that focus, gently open your eyes, gaze forward at your horizon, and then bring your hands forward, unravel your knees. And let's get started straight away by working into our spine, creating this sense of liquidity through the back body. So we'll push the hips back towards the heels, walk your fingertips forward so we arrive in this activated child's pose. So tailbone is pushing back, hands are reaching forward, and you're shooting energy through the crown. Now with your next inhalation, I'm going to have you round your back all the way forward into a cat back. So you're pushing the ground away, puffing up through the back of the heart and tucking your navel in towards your back. Now as we exhale, let's take a little baby cow. So tilt your tailbone up, flare through the chest, and then lower your chest down in between your thumbs. Keep your elbows wrapped in by the sides of the ribs. Now once the chest lowers, you're going to zip your pubic bone in towards your navel. So tuck the tailbone under and then allow the articulation of your tailbone to unravel you through into cobra pose. So press down through the thighs, lift up your chest, and really over-exaggerate, rolling your shoulders back and down here. Exhale, bend your knees, glide your tailbone back, keep reaching through your hands. Let's do that 2 more times, all right? So breathe in and round your back forward. Cat back. Exhale as you find an arch, and then lower your chest down, nice and slowly. Keep elbows in. Once your chest hits the mat, tuck your tailbone under, zip pubic bone in, and then unravel, uncurl through cobra. Keep puffing through the heart space. Keep lifting through the crown, breathing in. As you breathe out, child's pose. Reset that back. Okay, let's do 1 more round and really try to connect the points. Inhale, round forward. Exhale as you find cow and then lower the chest. Snake yourself through to cobra. Breathe in. Listen, this time as you breathe out, you're going to curl your toes under, push your hips up and back. Let's meet in downward facing dog. Now I'm going to give you 60 seconds here to just do your thing. So Miranda your awareness throughout your body. Breathe into those areas that are calling for breath. And then really lean into what you feel. Now let's continue that undulation through the back body. So from your down dog, lift your heels high, begin to zip your thighs together and roll your spine all the way forward into a high plank position. Lower your knees, cow pose with the back, lower the chest. I know you know this well now. Let the breath guide you. Inhale, roll yourself through to cobra pose. Breathe in. Listen, this time as you breathe out, you're going to soften your chest all the way back down to the ground. So now we've worked on opening through the back. Let's also start to target the front. Let's work the core. So come up onto your elbows, Sphinx pose. So the elbows are directly underneath your shoulders and the wrists are in line with those elbows. You're going to press down through your pubic bone and just take a moment here to feel the cells of your rib cage opening. Pause in stillness. Give the mind a little gift of relief. And as you do that, feel this sense of release. So everyone just release any expectations that you have of your body today. Let the expectations go. Now, how do we do that? We bring the mind into the body, into arrival of this present moment. And I find the best way to do that is to engage. So curl your tootsies under, press down through your elbows, lift up the hips. You're in a full round plank. Okay, now let's make some micro adjustments. Heels are gonna push back. Tailbone is gonna slide and scoop under. Your shoulder blades are gonna pull away from one another. And like you're trying to rip the mat apart from underneath you, your elbows are gonna glide out in opposite directions. Now let's hang out here for 8. You can stay in stillness, or if you want to tap into intensity, rock your hips from side to side. Last 7, that spine is long. 6, keep squeezing your glutes. 5, you're locking your abs. 4, you're doming your back. 3, you're energizing through the heels. 2, your chin is in. On 1, the toes are going to walk in, your hips are going to lift high. Now you're going to look at your hands and you're going to walk your hands closer in towards one another. So you create this triangular base. You look at your hands and you say, I believe in you. And then you press them so much down into the mat that you can lift your elbows up off the ground simultaneously. And voila, you're back in your down dog. Take a moment to readjust. If you walked further off the mat like me, step back on. And then step your feet to the top of the mat. Bring the feet all the way forward. Get those feet right underneath your hips. Bring your chin in and then roll yourself all the way through to a standing position. Once your head lifts, place your dominant hand back on your heart space. Bring that felt awareness back there. And then place the less dominant hand on your belly. Close your eyes. Take a breath in. I am here. Breathe out to transform. Do that again. Repeat that mantra. I am here to transform. Let's do that, shall we? 3 rounds of Surya Namaskar A, not C. 3 rounds of Surya Namaskar A, and it will be modified, so listen well. Root down through your feet, reach your arms all the way out and up, and take a full breath in. Let that breath swirl through your body. As you exhale, fold yourself all the way forward and down, like you're a waterfall, trickle down. We will ripple the back into a halfway lift. Breathe in. As you breathe out, hands under the shoulders, step your feet into downward facing dog. From down dog, just like we've done, we're going to take a roll through into a high plank. Breathe well, so let the breath move the bones. Exhale, soften your kneecaps down, untuck your toes, lower your chest. You're on your own journey as you roll yourself into a cobra. Breathe in. It's down dog. Breathe out. Get out of autopilot, my friends. So drop everything that you think you know and allow this moment to teach you something new. Discover that breath. Inhale. Exhale. Let's move on it, shall we? Breathe in, look forward. Breathe out, step forward. Sweet halfway lift with your back. And then forward. Root down to roll up. Open all the fibers of your body, of your being. Breathe. And then come all the way back down to the ground. Fold yourself in half like a little piece of origami. It's halfway lift as you inhale. Down dog, exhale, hands come down. You can step the feet back or you can jump back. Landing with bent knees as you prepare your spring to roll forward. Breathe in. Knees, chest, chin, breathe out. Lift up your chin in your chest. Inhaling like you're on a surfboard. Ride the wave. Exhale, down dog. Take your time with the details. Open up that conversation with you and your body as you fine-tune that listening. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right, yogis, one more round we go. Look forward, inhale. Step or even jump your tootsies forward as you exhale. Halfway, and then release. all the way up, all the way back down. Let the breath be the anchor. Let it pull you into your body. Halfway, down dog. Try to jump back. Roll. Let it feel fluid. Lower with intention. Open up your front body with integrity. Breathe in, flood the body. As you breathe out, downward facing dog into child's pose. Keep pushing your hips back. Keep walking your hands forward. Open up the inner texture of your body. We create more space inside, so you can hold space for those things that show up along this journey. Take a transformational breath in as we close off that part of the practice and transition into the next step. Inhale. Exhale. Mandala flow we go. Down dog. All right, my loves. With your hands pressing forward and down from the inner seam of your right thigh, lift up the right heel. Flare through that right foot and start to turn the toe in towards your left leg. So we allow this internal rotation to take place. Breathe in, keep kicking the heel back. Exhale, step the right foot next to your right thumb. As the foot lands, you're going to lift your right arm all the way up and then sweep the arm back behind you. Now simultaneously begin to turn your toes to the right. So look how I arrive onto the knife edge of that left foot. Now, some of you may want to wiggle this right foot closer in towards the midline of the body. Get curious about the shape that feels best for your outer hip, your IT band. Now, we're going to begin to lower down through this left hip flexor. Really pull in at your waist, feel the ignition, and then lean more into your back body. So we're going to encourage this sense of mobility, flexibility, and strength simultaneously here. So if you're 3-point base, take a breath in and lift your right arm up and over the head. Stretch out through the right side of your body. As you exhale, reach that right arm all the way back behind you. Be on the breath. Make this your own. Let it be creative. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach back. You've got 3 more rounds in your own time. And now where you feel this in the most potent way, where the sensations are the loudest, I want you to lean into those areas, those spaces, those places with your presence, with your breath. Now the next time you lift that right arm up, keep it there. Begin to pivot all 10 toes to the long side of the mat. Pivot. Yes, I am thinking of friends. Now turn the toes inward slightly here, and you're going to take your peace fingers and wrap them around your big toes. Presa Vita, let's come to a deep forward fold, external hip rotation. So really hinge your hips up and allow the crown of the head to be parallel to the ground. So your elbows are bent here, and you're using the hand to foot connection to peel your chest down deeper. Plunge and lunge further into your body, into your being. Let's really take our time here. Let's get more efficient and more precise with how we move, because we're delving so deep into our physicality that we've got no other option but to listen to its feedback, to recognize the feedback. 3 more cycles. Noticing where you're at right now. Noticing why you're here. You're here to do some crazy funky shapes that you've seen on Instagram. Are you here because it's a habit? Or are you here because you're wanting to build your heart, build your soul at a deeper level? Get curious. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right, release those tootsies. Turn the toes out, heels are gonna come in. You're gonna bring your hands to your knees, and then you're gonna roll your back body all the way up as you sit deep into your hip girdle. So keep the toes reaching out, and then lift through the shoulders, lift through the crown of the head, but sink deeper into those hips. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to twist to the right. So soften the left shoulder down. Now I keep pressing my hands into my knees. So by default, we begin to open through the hip flexors even more as we twist from our navel center. This feels so good for me. I hope it does for you too. Take a breath in and come back through center. As you exhale, twist left. Okay, now that is your rhythm. So inhale through center. Exhale, twist right. I remember the first time I did this in a yoga class and I was like, oh, hello hips. So if you hear a little crackle, that's all good. That's what we want as we lubricate. Keep moving on your breath, and perhaps you might even want to close your eyes. Let's take one more cycle each round. And then the next time you get through center, begin to lengthen your legs out, hinge from your hips, slide your hands down the backs of your thighs, all the way down towards the ankles, and then bring the hands to the ground. Walk them to the back of the mat. Turn your toes to the back. So eventually we end up in this pyramid variation. Now I want you to anchor your hands into the mat, so much so that you can lift that left thigh in towards the chest. So you feel this compression through the left hip flexor as we build strength. You may have to bend that left knee or not. Eventually we're going to step into down dog. Good. From down dog, roll forward. Keep squeezing through your glutes. Try to lengthen through the sides of your body. Lower your knees down. Let them kiss the ground. Tilt tailbone up and then lower your chest. Ride that breath. Inhale, you're in a cobra. Exhale, down dog. Beautiful, my loves. Remember, you are a masterpiece in progress right now. A miracle in motion. So get in sync with your soul. Take a full breath in. Let it feel soulful. Purse the lips. Let that breath pour out. Gorgeous. Left side we go. So sweep that left leg up and back behind you. Use the inner seam of your thigh. Turn the left toes in towards the right leg. Yes, breathe in. As you breathe out, left foot next to your left thumb. Big step forward. Now begin to migrate that left arm up and then reach it back behind you. Sink down into your right hip, but really pull it in through the core. Now just be mindful that you're not collapsing through the side edge of your feet, that they're not kind of just like fickling out. Keep anchoring, and then as you breathe in, lift the arm up and over the head. You've got a 3-point base as we work into that IT bend. Breathe out and reach back. Now that is your rhythm. Stay on it. Lift up and inhale. Exhale, reach back. Wherever you feel this the most potently, match it with the potency of your breath. That's it. And if it feels right, add some more sound. Now listen, the next time you lift that left arm up, keep it there. Begin to turn those toes all the way to the long side of the mat. As fluid as possible, we're gonna meet in a fold. Now this time we're gonna walk the fingertips forward. You're gonna land on the pads of the fingers. The weight is gonna come forward, so think halfway lift with your spine. Weight is in the ball of the feet, weight is in the fingertips. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, bend into your knees and fold your chest into all of that space that you've just curated, that you've just created. Do that again. Spinal rolls. Take a breath in, roll forward. As you breathe out, bend the knees, push the hips back and up. Let's do 3 more rounds in your own time. So we know that the mind is obviously the master control system to how our bodies move, but how the body moves also influences how we think and how we feel. So that's why we're trying to really move from this space of fluidness today, of ease, of peace. Now with that, heels in, tuck your chin in, and then roll your body all the way up. Up this time. So you're gonna lengthen your legs, you're gonna lengthen your arms, You're lighting yourself up. You're in a star position. Breathe in. As you breathe out, bend your knees, cactus your arms open. Sit those hips low, 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 low. Now what tends to happen in Goddess is the knees kind of just like knock in. Keep them pushing out. Yes, we're in this external hip rotation. See if you can sit a little lower. We're going to engage and lift. Press down, rise up, inhale. Exhale, sit low. 3 more with the breath. In. X. If you want more, lift the heels. Breathe in high. Breathe out, go low. Feel your body in between those polarities. 1 more. In. X. Amazing. Now reach everything up and then fold yourself all the way back down. Bring your hands to the ground. Walk your hands to the front of the mat. Turn your toes to the front. Frame that right foot. Press down through your hands and then try to lift your right thigh in towards your chest. You may have to bend that knee or not. Eventually we're going to step it back to meet the left. You're in a down dog. From down dog, your breath in rolls you forward. As you breathe out, you lower. Lift, uncurl through to cobra. Feel every muscle of the process. As you breathe out, child's pose. Push the booty back. Reach your fingertips forward. Soften your third eye to the ground. And maybe you even want to flip the palms here. Yoga is a devotional practice. So offer it out, offer it up. Feeling that ground below. Feeling the sky above. Feeling you in the middle. Now from that deepest place of in you, take a full breath in. Healing breath out. All right, my love, stay with all of this yummy, drippy, caramelized sense of self that you've just created. Let's begin to work into the second part of this practice, second round, where we add just a little on if you want to. Let's meet in down dog. From down dog, we'll take a sun A. So take a look forward, breathe in. Breathe out, step. I'll take a big hop forward. It's a halfway lift, inhaling. Fold and exhale. Roll up, breathe yourself there. Come all the way down. Let the body melt, let it pour. Halfway. To down dog. Try and jump back, have a little bit of fun. Add in your own flavor. High plank breathing. Lowering as you exhale. As you excavate. Right up. Down dog. From down dog, right leg lifts. Step the foot forward. Reach your right arm up and then migrate to south. Option 1 is here as you turn all 10 toes to the long side of your mat. Option 2, you've got side plank. You can step your right foot to meet your left foot. Since we are working on opening the hips today, the final variation is to wrap your peace fingers of your big hand, of your right hand, around the big right toe. Begin to lift that right leg up. Maybe the knee stays bent, or you may have capacity, flexibility to lift that right leg. Try to really extend left leg out. Bring the weight into the pads of your fingers. We're not here for long. Know that between the sensations that you're feeling right now and how you react, there is this space. And it's in this space that we grow and we evolve, and that's this practice. So stay with it. Come back to breath practice. Lift hips a little higher. Breathe in. As you breathe out, step your right foot next to the left hand. And then turn all 10 toes to the long side of the mat. Whoo-hoo! Moment to digest. Moment to rest. Moment to recover. Moment to discover breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay, yogis, you've got about 60 seconds here, and I'm going to give you a few options. As always, there's an option for everyone. So Same as the first round, you can always grab for your feet, your ankles, your toes, using that connection to pull the chest down deeper. You can roll and undulate through your back. Oh, if you're dying to go upside down, then you have headstand here, tripod headstand. You find that triangular base where your head is a little further forward and the hands are under the shoulders. You anchor down through the crown, bend at your elbows, allow them to feel like a shelf, to serve as a shelf, and then stack your knees, your shins towards the elbows. If you can lift your heels in towards your glutes, keep pressing down through the fingertips and through the crown, and then zip your thighs together. Lift through the tailbone and then slowly begin to extend the legs. Now you can always split the legs here, since we've been working on opening the hips all practice. If you're feeling strong and steady, then lift the legs all the way up. Take your time. Keep using that breath and keep lifting, pressing to lift, pulling in and up. And then with as much control as you came in, come on out. Well done, my loves. All right, let's start to turn those toes out once they land back on the ground. And then we'll roll the body all the way up. A moment of expansion after that contraction. Breathe in, stretch yourself open. As you breathe out, come all the way back down to the earth. Walk your hands to the back of the mat. Frame the foot. Float into your down dog. And then roll, ripple, articulate, breathe in. Move like water. As you breathe out, lower. Keep the navel hugging in, so squeeze like you're wearing a corset. And then ripple right into your down dog. Feel into every degree of the movement right now. Breathe in, breathe out. Left side we go. Left leg is gonna sweep up and back like you're swimming through water, like you're moving through honey. Step the left foot next to the left thumb. Reach left hand high. And then back behind you as you turn your toes to the left. Listen, if this is speaking to you, then stay here. If you want to work on engaging through the abs, you're going to step left foot to meet the right. If you want to focus on doing both simultaneously and opening hips, left hand can grab hold of left knee or peace fingers around your big left toe as you lift the leg up. So this is what I mean by grabbing hold of the knee. You can grab the knee so you keep your hips open. Vashi, rotate your chest up towards the sky. Maybe you can gaze up. Get to your threshold and then hang out in it. Feel that sweet spot. Stay with me, I'm right there with you. We're gonna hold for 3. Can you lift your hips a little higher? Last 2. On 1, bring the left foot close towards your right hand, if you lifted it. And then pivot those toes to the long side of the mat. Woohoo, back here already. Okay, my loves, if you feel like you need to recalibrate, then you hang and you let gravity assist you. If stillness serves. If you want to put the body in motion, then begin to wiggle that back. If you want to invert, the head can come down. You've got tripod. Now, obviously, to take tripod headstand, it requires this degree of flexibility, right? So some of you may have to really wiggle the feet apart to bring the head down. But if you're like, there's no way I have that flexibility in my hips, but you're dying to go upside down, then you're going to play around with handstand with a few bunny hops. We've all got to start somewhere, right? So the hands are going to come forward. You're going to bring the weight forward into the hands, into the pads. I really can't over-exaggerate that enough. I spread the hands wide and I grip the ground, so much so that the knuckles lift up. Now with that action, I'm going to take a few hops into the hands and I'm trying to bring the heels towards my glutes as I split the legs, trying to bring the hips to stack over the shoulders. And you might eventually get a little bit of air time where you can keep the legs wide. Who knows? Last few moments. Practice, play, persist, and then progress. All right, let's progress on. Feet are rooted, turn toes out, roll body up. Inhale, transform. Exhale, dive down. Walk your hands all the way to the front. Flow into down dog. And then take yourself on a roll forward. It's your final spinal roll of this practice. Enjoy it. Breathe in. Lower on the breath out. Like a dance. Dance between the sense of strength and sensuality as you lift your chest. Breathe in. Child's pose. Breathe out. Oh, settle into all of that goodness that you feel. Into all of that energy, that Shakti. That's really one of my favorite things about yoga, is that it can take something so wild and it can bring it into this sense of divinity, into this sense of divine service. It can take energy that can sometimes be so frenetic and erratic and even neurotic, and it brings it into service. And now one of the greatest acts of self-care is service. So as you continue to build your heart and you build your soul and you unravel some of the debris, some of the stuff that you might be hanging on to today, know that you're only going to keep projecting out into the world as this potent, magnetic person that operates from this place of goodness. So continue to give yourself over to this practice today. Here to transform. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right, now let's begin to transition into the final part of this practice, restoration. So roll yourself back up into a tabletop position. I've got a surprise for you. It's called pigeon. We all know I love a bit of pigeon. So the right knee is going to come behind the right wrist. Right shin is at a 45-degree angle. Now, I love pigeon, but I know it's not for everyone. So if you start to work into this position and it feels too intense in your knees or on your hips, then you're going to roll onto your back and you'll take figure 4 position. Now, if you're with me, that left knee is going to glide and shimmy and be sent back. Now just nuzzle into your hips. Lift the cavern of your heart as you take a full breath into that space. Breathe in, let it feel like velvet. Then as you breathe out, fold your chest out. Bring the elbows down. Yes, and you can choose what type of velvet. Maybe it's texture or maybe it's the cake. All right, now I'm going to give you some time here. So come onto the elbows, the forearms, or if the body feels ready for it, drop the forehead all the way down. Give yourself a body scan from the crown of your head to the tips of your toes. And just notice if there are any areas where you're consciously trying to hang on to something. Can you literally just drop and sink deeper? Now I'm going to get quiet for a few moments so you can really give yourself over to you. Oftentimes we're all so quick to fill moments of silence, but know that this space is enough. Start to bring yourself back from wherever you've drifted off to. Start to lift your chest. Place the hands on the ground and step the right knee back under your right hip. Can always feel a little bit awkward coming out of that position, so give your hips a sway. Shake that right leg out if it needs it. Might have lost a little bit of life or gained a new one, depends which way you want to look at it. Here to transform, right? Now send that left knee behind your left wrist. Bring the left shin to a 45-degree angle. So that left hip is going to rest towards, rather the left heel is going to rest towards your right hip. Wiggle the right knee further back, shimmy it back, work into your hips, and again, just do that check-in. Be mindful of your knees. You can grab props, you can grab pillows and blankets to make you feel more supported here. Or if it's just one of them days where you're like, you know what, it doesn't feel right, get onto the back and take figure 4 position, recline pigeon. So from here, we'll take a breath in, opening and lifting, expanding. And then as you exhale, fold your chest forward, sink, soften, surrender. And when you think you've surrendered, surrender even more. Continue to ride the waves of what comes up, of what comes through. So you just let them in, the sensations, and you let them go. You let them in, and you let them go. And these waves, these sensations can come in as messages, as stories, as feelings, as thoughts. And they leave as a lesson, a cleanse, and a purge. Nothing to be afraid of, all to be felt and all to be integrated. So continue to integrate your breath into your being. When you're ready to fully integrate all sides of this practice, we're going to lift up the torso. We're going to soften onto that left hip so we can swing the right leg all the way forward and round. Let the legs be really heavy now and release your spine all the way down. So come to lie yourself down. Lie back. And then drift off. Begin to feel yourself. Come home to yourself, whole and heal. Wiggling the fingers and wiggling the toes, knowing that all rivers from the fingers and the toes lead back to that heart, where that felt awareness remains. Now slowly draw your knees in close towards your heart. Keep them wrapped in and roll over to whichever side is calling you. Pausing here for a moment as you give thanks. Give thanks for the journey and what has been discovered along the way. And press down to lift yourself up. Let's meet in a seat, collecting hands together right at the center of your chest, and then bowing your chin to your chest in gratitude for your incredible body technology, for having the ability to be able to feel, to heal, to transcend, and to transform, forever transforming. Bow your chest forward. Let this bow be the symbol of the completion of our time together. Thank you. Thank you so much. All I can hope is that these practices are really going to help facilitate this essence of transformation. And it might just be something really subtle, your energy, your thoughts, your feelings. But those subtle changes have the ability to create really powerful and big changes in our lives. So keep practicing, keep moving, keep breathing, one day at a time.